I'm not ready.
Reedy.
Reedy Rainbow?
Reedy.
Alright, let's go ahead. We'll do this here. Alright, everybody. Hello and welcome to Aetheryte Radio. This is Gamer Escape's Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Hi. Joining me today, we've got Dr. Mog and Zanidra. What's going on?
You.
So,
Nothing.
Live letter
Broke
7.
my headset.
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Broke your son's book, too, you monster.
No, he broke that.
Oh, he broke that. Everybody's breaking stuff over in the
I
Monk
do have the
household
best
today.
chair.
Alright, so Live Letter 7 just happened. Got to look at some cool stuff that we haven't really seen before. So we're going to go through all the QA info for that. And then a couple of minor announcements. And that will be it. So let's get this started. We'll just do... I'll read one, Mog will read one, Zinja will read one. We'll just go in that order, I guess. Let's knock these out. Will Phase 3 of the beta test only be conducted on the weekends? They say for a while it will only be on the weekends, but for the later half of the beta test Phase 3, we will have tests that will last longer.
Yay.
Yay.
I would go next, but I've lost my link, so give me a second.
Oh. Here.
I switched to the desktop here, so...
There you go.
Alright.
Nice.
Classy on the stream.
We know we stopped the live letter commentary stuff, and then everyone's computer was like BSODing, and it was bad. I don't know what happened.
Alright, if... I've got the question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. If a housing area becomes full, will it automatically create a new instance, or is that something you'll have to do manually? In order to use the server space efficiently, they're going to monitor the situation and add the instances through updates when necessary. So basically, manually. So if everybody goes out and buys all their houses and so forth, and all the instances are bought up, we gotta wait for a patch.
That's so weird.
I'll be interested if that's something that they're gonna have to like shut the server down for, or if that's something they can just like click on a button and it'll add it without having any downtime. You know what I mean? If they can just say, okay, let's add this and be done with it.
I hope they would add that sort of like automatically as a backup. Oh crap, ran out of stuff. Start feeding in old stuff, memories, whatever. Yeah. Alright, question 3. Is it possible to have a storefront with a counter in your housing area? Yes, this is possible. We will continue to add objects, and I believe it will be possible to have a store-like setup by using retainers and such.
That's pretty cool. On the stream, they did show houses. They showed, I think, what was probably
Yard sales.
What?
Yard sales.
Yard sales. They showed what was probably the small, medium, and large houses. It looked pretty cool. Pretty big too. The small house is probably about the size of a room that you would get in the 11 Mog house. Medium-sized house added a second floor. Were there 3 floors?
Yeah.
3 floors in the medium, and then the large one had like a big basement and stuff in it. So very cool stuff. That'll be cool to play around with those.
I hope it's not just like a thin column though. I'd like a wide house.
Maybe there'll be different variations. I don't know.
Let us hope.
Hard to say. Question 4: will houses have balconies? And they say it'll differ depending on the type of house. While some will have balconies, others will not. So obviously, if the small house is just like one room, it just probably doesn't have an upstairs, so probably won't have a balcony. So there you go.
Question number 5. We've resumed our stream on YouTube. Just kidding. What happens if there's a critical bug found during the beta test, Phase 3 or 4, and it can't be fixed in time for release? What kind of countermeasures are you considering? And if it came to this, I believe it would be difficult to release the game in that state, but the entire development team is working hard to ensure that that does not happen. So basically, we're hoping it's not going to happen, and I think everyone's hoping it won't happen.
Yeah.
Not much to say on that. I mean, if there's going to be a bug, there's going to be a bug. You know, they're all going to jump on it like madmen.
Things that jump on things.
Things that jump on other things.
Well, we're at 2.0, so they better get it right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the sum up of that.
They're working on it. Please look forward to it.
There you go.
Definitely. We'll be able to carry over our friends list / link shell from 1.0. I can't speak anymore. As far as link shells go, you will generally be able to carry it over. However, if the link shell leader chooses to go to a different world with a world transfer, the link shell will be disbanded. On the other hand, the friend list in 1.0 was more of a bookmark than a friend list. In ARR, the features of the friend list have changed. Unlike 1.0, the other player will have to accept the friend invite. When you first start AR, a mass friend invite will be sent to the players on your friend list, and if the other player accepts the invite, they'll be added to your friend list.
There you go. So as soon as you log in, if you get a lot of friends, you're gonna get a million pop-ups like "accept my friend request." It'll be like Facebook.
Oh God!
But in 14, and your mom probably won't be on there. Awkward.
Your mom might play with me.
Wow.
Oh, just kidding.
Wow.
You started it.
Fair enough. All right. Show us the Duty Finder. The dungeons that you can participate in using the Duty Finder will be added to the Duty Finder list after you have completed the quest. Also, when participating in dungeons that are lower level than your character, level sync will be applied and it will be possible to participate at the appropriate level. You'll also be able to modify things such as language settings. So if you're doing Duty Finder and you only want to play with people that speak German, you can do that, or whatever other language, or if you don't care about the language that the group is from or speaking, you can join all of them. So there's that. So that'll be pretty cool.
I find the Germans to be a friendly folk. I'll probably play with them.
I've partied with Germans in 11 before, out in Yatunga jungle back in the day.
Before they had the auto translate for them too.
But keep in mind too, we will have regional servers this time around, so the likelihood of that happening is probably a little lower.
Plus, they don't have Yatunga jungle in this game.
That too.
Thankfully.
I don't know. Maybe we're actually in Vanadil.
Maybe that's where the Mamul Ja are from.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
Question number 8.
True, they'd be from Bavlo thickets.
When will the new lodestone launch? And the answer is when we are planning to open it during beta test phase 3 or perhaps between phase 3 and 4, and we are currently making final checks. So
please look forward to it.
In like a month-ish.
Yeah, a month or two.
Will you be able to specify multiple jobs on the Duty Finder? No, you will not.
You will be a dragoon, and only a dragoon, forever.
Well, if they have comments, you could just throw it in there like you can 11.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it sucks because if you have a lot of jobs, you have to pick one. So it's like
maybe they'll have an all option.
Today, I want to play dragoon, but what if there's a couple groups out there that aren't looking for a dragoon, but they're looking for another job that you wouldn't mind playing, So.
See, the thing with Duty Finder is that my guess is it probably ports you either into the instance with the other players, or puts you, somewhere at least in the instance or near the instance with these other people. And if you're in the instance, you can't change jobs. Mm-hmm. So the reason for not being able to select all jobs as what you want to go as is because as soon as maybe it matches you or finds the party for you, it'll throw you into the instance, and you can't change jobs in the instance.
That makes sense, yeah.
I think that's probably the reason behind it anyway.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's good. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Who did Duty Finder question?
That was Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Will we be required to use jump to complete content? Generally, no. But there may be some battle content where jumping will offer an advantage. So maybe there's a primal that turns the floor into lava, and if you don't jump, your feet melt, and you're a cripple for the rest of your almost at Vanadil. Adventures. Too many 11 things. But yeah, so maybe you'll see some jump to avoid, earthquake type of things.
But they said that generally no.
Generally.
So there'll be some fights where jumping is a thing you need to do for stuff.
Maybe we'll have a job class or a class that gets like float. Maybe that'll be a thing.
Maybe we'll have to draw our spells too. That'll be great. No.
Gonna junction the crap out of those.
Right.
So far, jumping is just good for jumping over fences. But
yeah.
Maybe it'll be worth more later.
Maybe.
I mean, that's nothing to scoff at, really, if you think about it.
Love jumping over them fences.
Well, in 11 I had to walk around, so it
Yeah.
saves me precious time.
It does.
In regards to retainer sharing, for example, if you have one account with 3 characters on the same world, will we be sharing 2 retainers between those 3 characters or have 6 retainers? So, yeah, and the answer is while their inventory will be empty, the retainers will be shared. And honestly, that makes no sense to me. I understand the
Oh.
question, whether you're getting 2 per character or 2 per server, and their answer is basically nonsense.
I think you get 2, but if
It's been kind of iffy
on
on
a-
that.
but if it's on a different server, the inventory will be empty. So it's basically 6. They just look like 2. They just look the same. That's my guess.
I don't know. Retainers is one of those things where, in 1.0 they had originally they were in charge for retainers and stuff like that, and then they gave us a second one, and then they hadn't announced pricing on them for 2.0. So I don't know what they're doing with them.
That's what I'm thinking. Sure, but different. So you have 2, but it's really actually 6.
I don't know.
If clones basically.
Clones. Yep. There you go. That's your number 12.
Oh, my turn. Yeah. I would like to know about the world names that will be ready at launch, and also which of those worlds will be prepared for legacy/new players. The worlds used in version 1.0, aka Legacy worlds, will remain as is. Also, those worlds will have the Legacy tag at the end of the world name. As far as worlds for new players, it will be announced via developers' blog, so please stay tuned.
So no word on which of those servers are going to be in which region, which is the big thing. The big question really wasn't so much the names as it was which servers are they just making a whole bunch of new servers? Are they moving them around? What are we doing? We still really don't know. So is Gugner still going to be, are all the legacy servers still going to be in Japan? That'd be weird. But I mean, I could see us, because we're on Gugner, I could see us getting moved as the French region servers or something, or for EU, and I don't know. It'll be weird. We'll have to see what they do with all that.
Doesn't matter to me what they rename them to. I'm going to end up on a North American server for
Right.
latency issues, so it's a kind of a moot point. I mean, they can move the servers wherever they want, and if Gugner ends up being North American, cool, I'll be on it, but,
Yeah.
meh.
Hear me. That's not good.
Besides regular crafting recipes, will there be special recipes that you can obtain as rewards from battle quests or achievements? And they already said yes to this, so I don't know why it was a question. While they will not be available at launch, we plan to look into that for the future. They said somewhere that they were looking into recipes being dropped from dungeons and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they mentioned that. And then you mentioned the point of questions that have been answered before, or bad questions. My favorite one. They've been doing a lot of Q&A posts regarding pre-ordering and stuff on the forums. My favorite one yesterday was, will the disc for the collector's edition on PC be a Blu-ray or a DVD?
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Final Fantasy XIV community.
Some things are just silly. I don't understand them.
Yeah.
Speaking of questions that have already been answered, do you plan on distributing new heat-resistant gear, which is basically bathing suits? Yes, we do.
And we do have a picture of that too. Well, we don't, but they did show us that on the stream, which we will get up on the site as soon as Dr. Mog renders it for 20 hours.
Yeah.
Plus, it was all over the place. They went back and forth between Ustream and YouTube, so I'm gonna splice that together.
Yeah, that's gonna
It'll be fun.
It's gonna be a pain. Please show us in-game footage of companions in battle. And when they say companions, they're talking about the chocobos that you can use to fight stuff alongside of you. They say that the companions will have stances and will act according to what stance they are in. So there could be stances that will prioritize attacks and stances that will prioritize healing. On top of the stances, there will be a skill tree system where you'll be able to teach the companion new abilities by spending points. Companions will be available from Phase 3 of the beta test, so as soon as Phase 3 drops, we will be able to use Gashel Greens to call chocobos to fight and or heal with us, so that's cool.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's going into release. I thought it was going to be after release, so that's definitely good news.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be in a later patch.
A lot of the stuff that they are talking about bringing out looks like it's going to be in really early patches, which is really exciting.
Yep.
Will Arcanus be able to summon both the Companion and Carbuncle at the same time? Yes. So, did I?
You kind of
No.
answered that one,
Said
though.
Gashel Greens, didn't you?
Yes, no. I said Gashly Greens, but I'll just go. They are consumable items. It's not something like a Chocobo whistle where you always have it and you can click on it and your Chocobo shows up like, all right, let's work the hell out of some stuff. They are
Work the hell out of
Work
stuff.
the
Work
hell
the
out
hell.
of some stuff.
That's good.
Okay.
Or que, depending. I mean, work que, whichever one tickles your fancy. So they are consumable items, so you'll have to make sure you are stocked up with Gashal Greens to call your companion. And so then you're on 18 then, Michelle.
Awesome. Because it's about hairstyles.
That's your question. That's why we did
Yeah!
that.
Could you show us some new hairstyles that will
Thinking
be
about it.
implemented? And I think they actually do show some
They
hairstyles in
did
the
show
video.
some new, yeah.
All the male Mikote ones. But then the answer, as far as the barbershop, we plan to implement it in patch 2.1, which if referred to as patch 2.1 among the development team, which I guess is probably the first patch. Is a guess. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. In addition to the barbershop, there will be additional hairstyles implemented as well. Awesome. Early patch, that's what I was talking about. Really excited. Yes, give me this.
Heck
That's what I needed.
Yeah, 2.1 will be the first patch after launch, since A Realm Reborn, formerly known as 2.0, is actually patch 2.0. Hey! So 2.1 will be the first patch. And there was something else that's coming out in 2.2, which will be the second patch. So there you go.
That's vanity.
Yep. Question 19. So about that scholar rumor. For those of you who didn't hear about that, there was that Internet Explorer 10 kind of promo site that they launched alongside the Nico Nico event. And there was some artwork on there showing kind of a circle of all the different jobs in 14. And one of them looked like a scholar. And people were all over the forums going, so is this a scholar? Is this arcanist? What is this? And Yoshida says, scholar will be implemented at the start of service as a job. Look for details on Scholar at E3. So not only are we getting Scholar, Scholar is going to be in there day one. Which is kind of funny considering for a while there we weren't sure if Summoner was going to be day one or not. And now they have another job in on top of that.
The reason they may not have known whether Summoner was going to make it was because they knew they were coming out with other jobs, like Scholar and so forth. So maybe there's more than Scholar and Summoner.
Well, at least in the pipeline. I don't think we'll see anything else at launch.
They didn't
don't think
actually
so?
tell us which class Scholar is coming from, but
They're
it's kind of obvious.
They're filling their mage void right now with Scholar and Summoner. And so then after that, I think we'll see like a thief, rogue, scoutish kind of thing. Musketeer maybe will be in there, but so there we go. We don't know if Scholar's going to have its own class, if it's going to branch from Arcanist, or how that's going to work yet. So details at E3, and I'll be there along with a couple other people from Gamerscape will be at E3, so we'll make sure to get all that info for you guys. So keep an eye on the site during E3 week. And,
Am I next?
yeah.
Excellent.
You're next.
Is there any new information on Musketeer? Nope.
Nope.
All
It's like
right.
the quickest answer they've given. Nope.
Nope! Exclamation point. Do you have any plans to add another healer besides the White Mage? You might see a new class/job that can heal in the future. Kind of feel like they answered that already, Scholar.
Well, we don't
No,
know.
we don't know if Scholar's going to be a healer or not.
No, but I kind of feel like
I think you want it to be a healer.
not really. I hate
And I
healing
want
jobs.
Dragoon to be like the best damage dealer in the history of the universe, but it's not always the case. We don't always get what we want.
I don't.
Regarding the materia system in A Realm Reborn, will it be possible to meld materia to equipment regardless of your class? They say that the class that can meld the materia is the class that can repair the item you would like to add materia to. So it's sticking with the same kind of line of thought as 1.0. In one of the player polls, I know they had asked, one of the questions was like, should we just let anybody attach materia? and they're not going with that. So,
Well, people said pretty unanimously no.
yeah,
Which is silly.
it would be nice from a non-crafter standpoint, but we also need to make sure that there are roles that crafters fill. We don't want them just to be here and they can craft and whatever, but nobody really cares. They don't have a use for anything other than like making like roof shingles or something. So we want to give them more things to do. So you'll need to use them for materia.
Will we be able to equip different types of weapons in the future? While I don't want to say no, I personally think it's a better idea to add new classes or jobs instead. And this kind of leads into a kind of another idea that because they don't want to add new weapons before they want to add new classes and jobs, that kind of indicates that new classes and jobs may use old weapons, which kind of talks about Scholar a little bit using the book that Arcanist has, right?
Mm-hmm. Grimoire.
So you can speculate a little bit about that, I guess. I mean, since they want to add new jobs and classes before they want to add new weapons,
Yeah.
we may see Thief using daggers as well as Gladiator using daggers or something like that.
Were they getting rid of daggers?
Hmm?
I thought they were getting rid of daggers.
Um,
Maybe not.
I think so.
I don't know.
Just saying, they may overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle that system-wise, how you choose between, if you throw on a dagger, it's like, all right, are you Gladiator or are you a Thief?
Well, it just has to say what class can use it on the weapon. So
Yeah,
this
but-
dagger is Thief, this dagger is Gladiator. No difficulty at all.
That seems weird then, like that you would have like, if you look at like our Summoner and Scholar kind of thing, like they'd have all these cool books, but you have to make sure you get the right one for the right class.
Yeah, I don't see that as being too weird or difficult to implement.
Coming off of the system from 1.0, where if you have this weapon, you're this job. To have it be like, well, it's a different.
Well, remember, jobs
type
have
of-
stones too, so the only thing that really would be difficult to talk about in that sense is classes, because if you're on a job, you have the job stone equipped. So if you have the job stone equipped and this dagger is both Paladin and Thief, it depends on the job stone you have equipped. That's the class you're on. That's the job you're on.
Yeah.
But if you're on a class, it might be a little more gray area-ish. Choking on your dew.
Nice.
So I think it can be implemented just fine using the same weapons that we already have, just indicating what class or job that they can be used on the weapon, and then limiting it to that.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if they do job branching, to see how that works. I don't know if we'll see that or not, because they talk about just making classes and jobs and just saying, all right, here you go. So we'll see.
That was like delayed karma for teasing people.
There you go. That's exactly what it was. I think we're on you for 25 now.
Okay. Will you be implementing weapons that attack multiple times? Can you read the answer?
Just mute your mic and cough it out. We are not thinking about introducing multi-hit weapons, but we are thinking to introduce this via abilities and skills. So there aren't going to be any cracking clubs or anything like that. Certain jobs will get like a double attack trait or a triple attack trait or something like that. So there you go. And then technically this next one is me again.
I'm sorry.
Just keep talking.
Regarding the vanity slot, when will it be implemented and how much freedom will we have? They say we are currently to implemented.
English is tough.
Okay.
Okay.
It is, man. With
It is.
words and grammar, and they're currently looking to implement it in patch 2.2, which will be the second major patch. As far as the freedom goes, as we stated during the previous live letter, black mages will not be able to equip heavy armor, etc. So, if you're a heavy armor class, you're still going to wear heavy armor. If you're a light armor class, you're still going to be wearing light armor. So nothing. You're not going to be a black mage walking around in like the crazy heavy mail or anything like that. So
That's pretty
as
standard.
cool as that could be.
My immersion is ruined. Question 27. Will equipment dyeing only be possible for the main color, or will it be possible to dye the accent colors as well? The portions that can be dyed are preset, but depending on the item, it will be different. So you can dye... Each item will look this... each spot on the armor will look the same depending on the color you have. That's the only thing you can change. You're not going to be able to like dye certain parts of it different colors. Like you can't have the main part of a chest piece being red and then like the frilly stuff being blue. That's just going to be red and whatever the original color of the item is.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Which is alright.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't bug me too.
it doesn't need to be that customizable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't
just
really
the fact
expect
that
more.
we can, yeah, just the fact that we can change the color to whatever we want now is
Hopefully
nice.
they'll at least make it look good. Like you can't add something hot pink to something hot green or something.
Maybe I want to. Did you ever think of that?
Why?
Because I'm going for Rainbow Bright.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe
Alright, fair
complete my
enough.
Rainbow Bright set.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god.
Sorry for
And
questioning.
then all I need is
you.
purple and a light blue.
I think you should just make a second character named Rainbow Bright, and she can be like the free company mascot.
I'll make it a little Taru girl, Lala girl.
There you go.
Just dress her up like the rainbow. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm really disappointed in both of you right now.
You're just jealous you didn't come up with the idea.
You're right. You caught me.
Or so am I. So
Apparently they skipped 22.
yeah.
Show us Monk in action, and then they did later.
There is a ability gameplay footage trailer. We'll find it. It'll probably be on YouTube. We'll put up on the site. 28. Will the haste spell be implemented? If not, are there effects similar to haste? There are abilities that will increase your speed, and additionally there are pieces of equipment that will decrease the global cooldown. So that's kind of like haste.
Skill speed.
Skill speed.
Skill speed.
Yep.
Yep. So, and we talked about that during the last
Question
show.
answer session.
Yes, best show ever. Make sure to check that out if you haven't. We answered a whole bunch of questions from Beta Phase 1 and 2.
Onry,
Onry. Because Phase 3 is not out yet.
stop asking us.
Shh.
Get in trouble.
Do you have any plans to implement elemental weaknesses or resistances? Also, please tell us why you eliminated these. This is a hot topic in Final Fantasy because the element wheel is kind of iconic, and their answer makes sense, but it still makes me sad. There was already a lengthy response on this on the beta forum, but to give you an example, if your and his weakness is water, then classes and jobs that are proficient in fire would be excluded from participating. Since we want to make participating in content easy with the Duty Finder, we felt this was necessary and decided to get rid of it. So basically, because they didn't give Black Mage all of the spells, they're nerfing the entire element wheel because Black Mage doesn't have water, so they couldn't fight Leviathan or Ifrit, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
Well, it's not even that. It's I mean, think of...
It is. Don't lie to me.
Think of like, were there elemental weaknesses in 1.0? I can't remember.
Maybe?
After a certain point, I don't know.
Well, I was thinking...
Yes,
remember-
no, there were.
Yes,
Yes,
there
there
were.
were.
There were. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if you think, like I remember we would Black Mage Zerg down like Garuda, right? Imagine Ifrit with a bunch of Black Mages if they knew water. It's regardless of the fact that Black Mage doesn't know water. If you're fighting something that would have like a weakness to like earth or wind, you would want to go in with like a party of white mages, and so that means that Black Mage wouldn't be as useful. So they don't want to have any class be excluded because of elemental weaknesses, because all the jobs that you're going to want for your group are going to be those that can exploit that weakness. And so I can understand their logic where they want anybody to be able to just open up the Duty Finder, say I want to go kill this or whatever, and anybody can join, and all their classes are somewhat relevant. So it's it's one of those things where it's been an element in previous Final Fantasy games, and it's been a cool element, but I can also understand their logic for not doing that here.
I'm not actually really bothered by it.
No.
So my question is, why didn't they diversify the other classes and jobs enough that either their actions and traits were not elemental attuned, so that they were equal across all monster types, or didn't they actually implement a wide variety of skills so that they could actually be effective in everything? Rather than nerfing the whole system, why didn't they just make the battle system proficient so that it didn't require that? I'm sorry.
That's okay. It happens. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I don't know how to answer
It's
that.
just yeah, it's just one of those things. That's what they decided on. That's just how it's gonna be, I guess. So
It is strange, but especially the Black Mage not having all the spells. But I mean,
but and you know when
I don't mind the difference.
we talked about this during the live letter stream, and how Black Mage doesn't get all the elements. But looking back, White Mage getting Wind and Earth spells, that's very Final Fantasy, right? Like they've done that before. So it's the approach that they're taking with this game. It does, it has classic Final Fantasy elements with the way that it's working. And that's just, it's just the way it is. So it's, a lot of people liked it, some people didn't, but from the standpoint of making it easier for anybody to join a group and not having to worry about, well, I don't have this thing that this guy is weak to, and not getting a group. I can understand their rationale for that, which is gonna make it really nice for more casual players that just come in. They log in for maybe an hour or two a day, do the duty finder, go in, do their stuff, log out, and that's it. Maybe that's all they do, and so that'll help those players, I think, a lot.
Shrug. Whose turn is it?
Yours. Number 30.
Could you show us an in-game footage of the armory chest? This is a long answer. In AR, you have the ability to change into different classes/jobs on a single character. Due to this, players often have to carry a large amount of equipment in their inventory. During the previous beta tests, we received numerous feedback, I guess, about the usability of the gear set. We discussed the matter internally, and we believe that this is the best way to satisfy everyone's needs. All equipment will be stored in your armory chest, and you'll be able to store up to 25 items per slot. In addition, you'll be able to equip and repair by clicking on the item. As for the gear set, you'll be able to select any item within the armory chest, and therefore will no longer need to repair multiple items of the same type if the item is equipped by multiple classes/jobs. Good.
So there you go. Initially, that was an issue because if you had a bunch of DD jobs and you wanted to wear like strength rings, you would need to have a bunch of strength rings, and you'd have to attach each of those to a different set, and it was a pain. So they came up with that new system. So yay! And we'll just he's back, never mind. It was my turn anyway. Will there be multiple parts to target on huge monsters? And they say we are planning to add this to Behemoth, but for general fates we do not plan on having this type of system. And notice they say fates too, implying that any huge monster will be part of a fate.
Behemoth is a fate, confirmed.
We do know that. We knew that before. Behemoth is a fate, Odin is a fate, and they're special as far as fates go, not only because apparently they'll have multiple parts to target, at least with Behemoth, but they will be the only fates that actually drop rewards on top of the regular fate gil and XP reward. So there you go. That's you on 32.
Do you have any countermeasures in mind for free company leaders who leave without notice? We will have countermeasures such as passing the authority to a sub-leader, so please don't worry. That's good. I'm glad we're getting some actual guild management tools. 1.0 was lacking in that if somebody logged out or you weren't next to them, you couldn't boot them. So you had people that just logged out forever and they were stuck in your shell for the entirety of 1.0 unless you remade the entire link shell.
That was a pain.
So,
a lot of link shells had to just remake a new link shell because they had so many people that had come and left, and so they couldn't pearl any more people.
Yep. So that's good. Glad that's coming.
Yep.
Question
34.
What are we, 34? You previously stated that there's a limit to how many times you'll be able
33.
to... Did you lie to me?
I did.
Lie to me.
That's what you get for not paying
Son of a...
attention.
Actually, I had 33 at the top, and I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
It wasn't on purpose, if it makes you feel any better.
You son... Okay. Will there be any changes or adjustments to the fighting and running animations for each race and gender? Running animations will be different. There is a concern that it would take too long to implement everything if we were to make every class and job animation different, so we are thinking to show each race's individuality via emotes and such.
There you go. Lots of emotes for you guys.
I'm excited about that
They
facial
showed
stuff.
they showed facial emotes, so you'd be able to do, you could sit or do whatever, and then you could pick a
Be
different facial
grumpy all the
expression
time.
for your character to have. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Previously stated that there's no limit to how many times you will be able to need on a dropped item. Will it be counted even if you don't win the roll? While
There is a limit to how many times.
There won't be any limit to how many times you'll be able to need on an item. We do have plans to implement a restriction of some kind.
Oh, well, that's different.
So this is kind of for the pickup group people, the people that just duty finder and stuff, and don't necessarily run with free companies all the time. Where
I need everything.
yeah,
Everything that drops, I need it.
yeah. So after a certain point, the game will look at you and be like, all right, you know what, Mr. Greedy Pants, you need to stop and let other people get items. So they'll be doing something to kind of aid that.
I don't know, man. That thing says Conjurer on it. I need it. Even though it has intelligence.
My Conjurer's level 5, but you know what? I'm going to level it someday. So I need that item right now instead of our Conjurer, who's actually in the party, who could greatly benefit from having that item.
Well, you can't need on stuff you're not on that class anyway.
Well, yeah, you know what?
So
You know
that
what?
wouldn't work. I don't know. I'm just saying you
that's
can
true.
make up whatever story you want and just run with it, and
It's a
that's
valid
okay.
point. Yeah. But it'll help.
I think it's just a greedy thing. If you get into a run and there's maybe there's 2 dragoons in a party and you just both need absolutely everything. I think it's probably just going to be a some sort of restriction on how many you get or how often you can roll in
I'll
one
be
run.
curious to see how they end up doing that.
Yeah, not that 2 dragoons would ever be in a party together because we know how much they're going to be. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Nice try. Maybe that's you on 3-5 Mark?
Oh. Well, I've got a yelling little guy in the background, so if you want to do that one, I'll get the next one.
All right. What kind of ability will limit breaks be? Please tell us about the area of attack and requirements to use it. In regards to the area of attack, you will use it by placing something known as a ground target. Oh, that's cool. We'll be announcing the different type of limit breaks at E3, so please look forward to it. First one.
Yay! So basically, the impression I get is, think about Meteor. It's the only one they've actually really shown us, right? Black Mage, you got your gauge filled up. You're like, all right, I'm gonna use Meteor, and so you click around on the ground. It'll have a ring maybe that'll show you the general area of attack. What it'll hit. You place that, it drops, stuff gets hit, and loses HP.
They talked about limit breaks. Bingo card. Did you finally get one, Monk?
Did I finally get a limit break? What?
Talking about the bingo cards.
Oh, no, I didn't get a bingo at all. That whole flipping
Will
thing.
limit breaks give you a bingo?
It might have. I don't know. I'm not on that computer anymore.
Damn it.
But, yeah. It was rigged, the whole thing, anyway.
It's true.
Terrible game of bingo.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bingo night with you anymore.
Sore loser.
He's not going to bingo night with us anymore. We do that so regularly.
Because we're old.
For Friday night is bingo night here at Aetheryte Radio.
Mhm.
So, when the limit break gauge is full, will we receive any recommendation on what class or job to activate it with? The answer is, since that will be one of the exciting parts of battle, there are no plans to add a feature of that nature. Basically, this is one of the first instances I've seen where they're like, no, we're not going to hold your hand. Just freaking learn how to play. All right?
You'll
Thanks.
have a bar filled. You talk with other people. You socially communicate.
Play the
you
game.
decide who pushes
We're
the
not gonna
button
do it
to
for
the
you.
fancy looking stuff.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that's all right.
You
don't-
scrubs need to
that's
learn
fine.
about play, please.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just messing.
That's perfectly fine.
It's kind of silly. I don't know. We talked about this on while it was going, but the automated versus the actual gameplay mechanics, how much people want automated is almost silly sometimes. I don't want to have to walk anywhere. I don't want to have to actually figure out what limit break I should use. I don't want to have to push my auto attack button. I don't want to have to. And I understand some of those are convenience things, but just the whole thing seems so automated now. The whole gaming
Yeah, I
industry,
mean, it's
do everything that's even slightly obnoxious for me, please. Thank you.
If you go into a raid and you're fighting this boss and your limit break gauge gets filled up, and the game is like, hey, by the way, this particular raid boss is totally weak to Meteor. You should
It's like
probably
that
use Meteor.
Microsoft paperclip comes up in the corner,
Oh my
and it's
god.
you should
That's
use
what we'll
Meteor.
We'll get Virgil's mini minstrel in the game as the Microsoft paperclip give little tips to players.
It's gonna pop and be like, "Why are you walking the bent branch? You could teleport," and
my
just stuff like that.
Are you trying to make a PowerPoint presentation?
I
Making me sad
I
again.
noticed you're typing. You could be talking. Download
Right.
Ventrilo here. Yeah.
Would you like to learn how to use the auto translate? Your German is horrible.
You spelled this word wrong. Would you like me to translate that
Would
for
you
you?
like me to turn on? Oh my god. All right. Who was
Too much.
I forget.
You're next.
I'm next. All right.
You're next.
Will you continue to have letter from the producer live after the game is launched? We would like to continue these as we enjoy holding them very much, and total doorbell. So I'll be right back.
And they say this with grumpy faces because of all the trouble they had this morning. I wonder what he got.
Yeah, maybe he got a package.
It's
I hope he got something fun. So they want to continue having the live letters. Maybe they're going to show content that they're working on for later patches in them.
I guess so.
That'd be cool.
That's kind of what they've done all along, right?
Yeah.
No reason to stop now.
Yeah, I guess there's no real difference, is there? I mean, like right now we don't know anything about the game, so it's all like shiny and new, but when the game comes out, they'll have to show us things that we don't know anything about. Like, I guess after the game gets released, they'll show us like the barber shop and vanity slots and...
Well, it's not uncommon for, just posts. Why not do it as a little cute live letter?
Yeah, I guess so. The only difference between the live letter and their dev blog thing is just the video aspect to it. So, I mean,
What'd you get?
Some stuff for our Pet Food Alpha giveaways.
Presents, everybody.
So.
Pay attention.
We're doing that on Twitter. You guys can keep an eye out on that if you want. So, anyway.
please tell us about each job's unique features such as Dragoon specialties for physical attack and the difference between the two tanks, Paladin and Warrior. Dragoon is your standard damage dealer, however by attacking from behind or from the side of your enemy you will get bonuses and buffs. These bonuses can stack and enhance your damage. Also, when you talk about Dragoon, of course, they have jump, and in A Realm Reborn we will have a variety of different jumps. You can use jump to get close, leg sweep to stun, and then run behind them and attack with a multitude of abilities. In regards to Monk, which was shown in the stream, using a single weapon skill will determine a form, which will determine the next weapon skill you can use. So like skill chaining kind of thing, like one ability leads to the next, like Ion, yeah. Additionally, when you will be able to link forms together. Depending on the form, you can receive a haste effect, which will reduce your global cooldown. So by linking a bunch of forms, it will really open up possibilities. With that said, each damage dealer has their own special characteristics, just as classes and jobs and Paladin and Warrior have their special differences. That's a good answer. I like that one.
Mm.
Alright, that's the
Last
last
question?
one here.
Mm.
You guys probably skipped over me because I was gone, so I'll do this one. What is the start
I actually didn't.
date? Oh, really?
No.
We waited for you to get back, and now you're going to
it's
steal
long.
the thunder.
Oh, well.
I don't care.
Start date of Phase 3. It's going to be June 14th is the current plan. So there you go.
So how many weeks is that from Phase 2 to Phase 3?
Too many.
Like 6?
Too many. So that's actually that's the day right after E3. So we'll get a bunch of info from E3. We'll get Scholar, we'll get limit breaks, and then we'll have Phase 3. So you can jump in there, check out your Chocobo companion and stuff like that. So there you go.
There's a lot of good stuff coming in Phase 3. Chocobo companions, the 3 new
I'm
cities.
excited for companions.
Pre-existing characters.
You know, I still think they're pushing Phase 3 back this long so they can add all the stuff because everyone's like, Phase 3 is going to be the miracle patch. And so they really have to put a lot into 3 so that
That's true.
people are like, oh, it is decent. All right, I can see that. Because if they had put it out like where they may have originally thought they were going to put it out before the entire community was like, Phase 3 is going to make or break the game, then it may have been kind of average.
Yeah.
You know? So they're probably putting a lot into
that'll lead us into
appease.
some of the other stuff too we wanted to make sure to mention. The beta roadmap PDF that they released a while back showing hey, phase 1 will be a couple weeks, and in between that we'll have a few weeks, and this is what's coming with it. It's been updated, and now phase 3 is only a partial NDA lift. So everybody that was all like, phase 3 is going to hit and I'm going to stream the crap out of it, you probably won't want to do that. We don't have the details as to what is still protected under NDA for phase 3. We'll see if we can find that out and let you guys know. But as of right now, yeah, it's not, floodgates open and everyone just kind of has at it. So just keep that in mind if you were.
They haven't said what the NDA, what material is NDA covered and what's lifted, so it's possible we could stream. It just depends on what they decide is okay to share and what isn't, and they haven't said anything about that yet. So
maybe there's only certain areas or certain.
I mean, they could just make it so that like old is NDA and everything else isn't. I mean, it could be anything.
We don't
so
know. So we'll try and get info for that. Let's see. Collector's Edition, we talked about that on the, I did on the last show. Before we talked about that on the stream is playing through that.
You should ask the question when you go to U3 about what's NDA covered material in phase 3.
That'll be a question that I get from them. Before Meteor, Final Fantasy XIV Blu-ray OST is coming out in Japan on August 14th. It's around $50 or so. It has like 104 tracks or something. It's like over 6 hours of music. And it also includes the End of an Era trailer with 5.1 surround, which is pretty cool. Currently for Japan only, though no release date for North America or Europe. It also comes with a code to get an in-game Dalamud minion, which is pretty cool. We don't know what the deal is with regional codes and stuff like that. If you could import it and use the code for your NA or EU account, that's another thing to add to my list of things I need to ask. Also, they're saying that there will be an MP3 version or MP3 versions available if you have the disc, so you can throw it on your iPod or any kind of mobile device or whatever if you want.
I just want the little minion.
I know, I do too. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. They're going to be streaming A Realm Reborn at E3 this year. Let me actually go and pull up that other page. It just announced the times for that, I think, last night. Of course, Dev Tracker is full of Q&A stuff now. They were doing, I believe it was like one stream a day, showing off battle content, just kind of answering questions. I'm not sure how exactly they're going to be handling that. Here, it's in this thread. Okay, so on Tuesday, June 11th at 4 p.m. PDT, there will be the E3 Edition Part 1, which will be in Japanese. Wednesday, June 12th, hey, it's my birthday, 4 p.m. again, will be the Realm Reborn Battle Event and Community Recap, which will be in English. And then Thursday, June 13th at 2 p.m. Will be E3 Edition Part 2, which will be in English. I believe Fern is going to be translating that. So there you go. Keep an eye out on the Square Enix Presents YouTube page for that info. And I think that was all the 14 stuff. One last little bit here for Gamer Escape news. We have opened up subscriptions for the website. With the game not being up, we have been putting a lot of our own money into keeping the site up. Ad revenue and stuff isn't really that great since traffic is down. So we have an option for people that want to support the site that can. If you go up to the nav menu on the site now, there's a subscribe button, and you can pick either a one-time donation or you can do a recurring, like $1, $2, or $5 a month. Any bit helps, so if that's something you guys want to do, we would certainly appreciate it. If not, no biggie. We just, we're just asking for help for people that want to help. So there it is. There's no bonuses or anything. It's just there for people that want to. So thank you for your consideration and your support and all that lovely stuff. And I think that is all we... Oh, Mog just left. He's like, no, I'm out of here. I'm not supporting this.
Screw that. I ain't helping.
Nice.
Don't. Not for reals.
Let's give him 2 seconds. I was right about to end the show, Mog. Come
Yeah.
on. Come on. I was like 2 seconds away from
Oh.
ending the show.
You're welcome.
He's got a lot of nerve. I should just end it and he'll come back and be like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, I missed it.
I
Hmm.
wanted to do an outro.
Pretty much. Nah.
What if his PC may have crashed or something? Is there a question in the chat? What's the question? We'll take
Sure.
questions if people have questions. We'll knock those out real quick. If you have questions in the chat, let us know. We will attempt to answer them with answers that are, in fact,
Good and truthful.
if you pre-ordered the game, it officially releases August 27th.
Yes.
The game does launch on the 27th. Some retailers have said they are shipping the game on the 27th. They are looking at, if you're pre-ordering, you're getting early access, and so you will have the client available to download. So you'll still be able to play. In terms of getting the package before then,
It really
not.
depends on the company.
You're probably not going to get it before then. But keep in mind, that's just like all the physical stuff. You'll be able to play the game on day one because if you're pre-ordering, you'll have early access, so you'll be able to play it before then. And they're going to make, they're looking into having that early access go into a few days after the 27th, just so in case packages are delayed or whatever, people can still play. Can I have a hug? I don't know if I can hug you over the internet. That's kind of, I haven't done that before. What are your top 3 jobs that you would like to see if they do throw more jobs into the Scholar at E3?
Dancer,
Dancer,
Thief,
yes.
and
Dancer,
Musketeer.
Thief, and Musketeer. There you go.
Or Corsair.
I agree with all those. I want to see. I'll be curious to see how they do Dancer. I really like Dancer in 11, but it's a completely, the systems are really different. So I don't know if 11's Dancer would translate well into 14, or if they would do something
I don't know. I think
different.
it would.
It could.
With the little gauge thingy.
You'd have to give them a stronger TP regen than the other classes, though. So.
Or abilities that just give you more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lots of people want Samurai.
Yeah.
Lots of people want Dark Knight. Lots of people want Greatsword.
There you go. That would make sense to do at some point. As long as it's not Rune Fencer or Geomancer.
That is kind of cheating.
Man.
A lot of people want Red Mage too.
Geomancer will come in and it'll have like 10-second cast timers. That'll be great for a Realm Reborn. Alright.
Time Mage.
Mog's not coming back, so we'll go ahead and just wrap this up.
Showa.
If you guys want to contact the show, you can email us at aetheryteradio@gamerscape.com. We are also on Twitter at Aetheryte Radio. What are you pointing at?
You.
Okay. Twitter at Aetheryte Radio. Gamerscape.com. We have our Final Fantasy 14 wiki. You can check out. That's ffxiv.gamerscape.com. We have been putting a lot of work into that, leading up to a Realm Reborn, and it's going to be freaking awesome once a Realm Reborn hits. So make sure to check that out, bookmark that. And that'll do it for this episode of Aetheryte Radio. Thanks to Monk, who isn't here anymore because he's better than us, I guess. I don't know. And Zanija for joining us. And I hope you guys enjoyed Aetheryte Bingo and everything. We'll see if we can do that for the next live letter. And until then, we'll see you guys back here after E3.